in his Benny Blades 36 Foundation in helping children with special needs. Go to winesforhumanity.com, look for the 20% off wine specials, make your selection, and use the code BB36F20. Please join the team through winesforhumanity.com or call Dana Lisa Torres at 561-445-7066. Thank you.
Sports fans, introducing Icon Auction and Events, one of South Florida's premier auction companies specializing in sports and entertainment memorabilia. Since 2012, our company's reputation is ranked as one of the best in the industry due to our unparalleled quality, exceptional customer service, and customer satisfaction. There's always a huge selection of sports treasures and entertainment collectibles. For more information, contact Andy Silverman with Icon Auction and Events at 954-300-7219 or visit their website at iconicsilentauctions.com.
Welcome to the 2-Minute Warning, a sports talk platform that will examine current issues in the world of sports, the athletes, and the communities they impact. With your host, former NFL star Benny Blades. Benny will be speaking with both current and former athletes, asking the questions about the lessons they've learned on their journey and how they impact the community. Call into the show now at 888-565-1470. Mr. Blades, are you ready?
Welcome to another edition of the 2-Minute Warning. I'm your host, Benny Blades. And if you want to bid on the new auction items that are here behind me, of course, my jersey, we have the Black Mamba, and we have Coach Don Shula. Both of these, may they rest in peace. You can go to Benny Blades at 2-Minute Warning at gmail.com, and please place your bids. Now, today's show, we were supposed to have my brother Brian on, and of course my other brother, Brett Chernow. But let me first excuse the fact that Brian's not here, but I want to still talk about Brian a little bit. Brian has been, people that know me, he's been my confidant, he's been my best friend, he's been a person who I inspired to be throughout my whole life. You know, growing up in Fort Lauderdale, I tell people all the time, he was my inspiration. He was that one that when growing up, when most people don't know, my name is Horatio, and so that was a tough thing to get away from when you're an African-American young man living in Fort Lauderdale and your name is Horatio. Brian would have to get in a lot of fights because I wasn't that person that fought. You know, I was Mr. Academia. All I wanted to do is go to run from class to class, and then there was a problem. Brian was my enforcer. He solved all those problems for me. Okay, and so I just want to make sure that he knows, you know, every day that I am here, I make sure he knows that, you know, hey, I love him, and he's the reason that I made a lot of choices in my life, especially going down to University of Miami, you know, and so those things, you know, whenever he's able to come on the show, we'll talk to him. But right now, I want to talk to my other brother. I call him my other brother from another mother. People always say.
That's true. Everywhere we go.
Wait a minute. How is that your brother? He's Caucasian. I said, and? It doesn't matter that he's Caucasian. This is my brother. This is Brett Chernow. And I want just Brett to explain to people how him and I met and how we became brothers.
Okay, you sure you want me to share this story, right?
Yeah, share the whole story. Share the whole story.
Okay. All right. So, gosh, I don't even know how long it is now, 25 years or so? And so it's all thanks to Linda,
yes,
your wife, that we met, because Linda wanted for a long time at that point for you to meet with somebody to help you out. And I was with your cousin at the time?
Yeah, you were Daryl.
I was with Daryl. Mm-hmm. And so your aunt and Linda I guess I don't know if they surprised you that day or not, but it seemed like you were a little surprised.
I was shocked because, look, anytime I was newly married and my wife says, I got to get somebody to straighten you out. So, go ahead and finish this.
So we were in the hotel room. The Buffalo Bills, Daryl's team, was in town to play the Dolphins. Your aunt was making a whole big spread for the whole team in the hotel room. And I'm waiting there and I'm waiting there. No, they're on their way. They're on their way. And you kept me waiting a couple hours, I believe it is. And you finally walked in. And, I'm 5'6" and Benny's a big man. And he walks in his black T-shirt, black jeans, black leather jacket, looking mean, looking like anybody come near him, he's going to crush them. And so his wife brings me over, introduces me, he looks up at me, smiles, hey, and looks away. And we talk for 2 minutes, and he's like, I give him my card, he's like, all right, we'll talk later. That was it. That was it. He didn't even want to know from me, he just wanted to be left alone. I'm like, okay. We get together that week, I believe, or the next week.
It was later on that week.
Later on that week, right? And you invited me to your office. And we're sitting in his office. And within a couple of minutes, he's playing around with his safe and pulls out a couple of guns, puts them on the table in front of me. And I'm just looking at this guy like, I wasn't sure what he was trying to do. And I just smiled and said something to the effect of, is this supposed to be intimidating to me? And he just smiled and let out a big laugh. And from then on, we've been great friends.
Yeah, we've been inseparable.
So,
but I tell him all the time, that wasn't an intimidation factor because...
Says you. I was sitting on the other side. It was a little intimidating.
But Brett, that's why we always talk about it. I tell people all the time, when you play in the National Football League, and you become the 1%ers of the world, you come across any and everybody that all of a sudden they want to be your friend, they want to be in your wheelhouse. You don't know who is who, and it can be overwhelming at times. And so when I met him, I was like, oh my God, here I am. I'm getting ready to meet somebody else, And so I wasn't trying to blow him off, but I just was tired of meeting the wrong people. They always tell me, and my mom always says, when the right person comes in your life, you'll know it. And he came in my life at the right time, and I just really, really, really wish I'd have met him 6 years earlier. Okay? And him and I, we talk about this all the time.
Right.
Because the thing is, he has a phenomenal story, about just how life works. Tell them how you got here from, New York.
Oh, well, that was just, jumping around. And my background was I was an accountant and I worked for big companies, and then came down to South Florida and got connected with actually Coach Smith.
Yeah.
Over
at St. Thomas.
At St. Thomas. And that's how I met Daryl, was through Coach Smith.
Yeah. When I tell Brett all the time, I try to introduce him to young, influential guys that need some sound financial help. But, a lot of times you run across these young men nowadays, they think, because they're making multi-millions of dollars, they don't need sound advice. But I tell people all the time, a fool and his money is going to soon part ways. And people don't believe that, because I've witnessed guys who've made $80 million, and you find them today and they don't have $8 to their names. But I love the fact that he's taken, my friend over here, my brother, he's taking people from zero to a millionaire instead of vice versa. And that's why he will always, not because, of the finances, but because personally, he's taken me, Brian. I mean, when you see Brett, when Brett walks into the room, people say, "Well, who's this Joe Pesci looking guy?" And I tease with him all the time. You know what I mean? I told him he needs to grow that beard back like me, and when it's all gray.
The Santa Claus beard, yeah. But more importantly, I mean, we became friends and family.
Yeah.
Beyond anything else that we did there, and we've had some rides. We had the sports bar.
Yeah.
we had that for a little bit. We had we were just talking about just before we started the possible restaurant up in Ford Field with your friend Barry there. We've we've done a lot of been through a lot of things.
We've been through a numerous amounts of things together, and that's why this show was going to be about my brothers. Like I said, just because one brother couldn't make it, my other brother did make it, and him and Brian have kept me grounded. They've kept me out of a lot of different things that I tell people, just because they see me and they'll see him and Brian, they're much smaller than me. I'm a little laid back, but anybody that really knows me will say, "Uh-oh, made the big guy mad now." And certain things will happen that's out of my control, and that's why I'm very indebted to these guys for keeping me out of a whole lot of trouble, along the way. And that's what family and brothers are for. They keep, our loved ones safe.
Absolutely.
Now, is there anything else you want to impart on the young people before we go to commercial break? Just as much as I've done for Benny, Benny's done for me being in my life. He's been a wonderful friend. I know we may not talk for 6 months at a time, but I can give him a call, and I know he'll be right there for me, anything I need. And that's what being a brother and being family is all about. Yeah, because I like where you said that, because anybody that truly knows me, I won't talk to you for a month, 2 months at a time. But if he calls me, I'm right there. There are people that you meet in your life that I wouldn't give them a quarter out of my pocket to let them catch the bus to get out of jail. But if him and Brian needed me, I lay down my life for them, because that's what they mean to me, and and that's the gratitude that I have for them. And so, forever in a day, I will be grateful to my biological brother Brian, and my brother from another brother.
Brother from another mother.
That's what we are. This is so whenever you see Brett around, this is my brother from that Caucasian mother. Okay?
Your poor dad.
I know. So we're going to go to commercial break right now, and we're going to talk about some topics from around the NFL that's really relevant now. So after commercial break, we'll be right back.
Zodiac Vodka is an American-made, all-natural, gluten-free potato vodka. Only 2% of vodka is made from potatoes. We use regionally grown potatoes and water from the Snake River Aquifer. We start with the best agriculture to make a superior product. It is rapidly growing as a bartender's choice drink. Go to ZodiacSpirits.com to find your cocktail. Remember, must be 21 years or older. Drink responsibly. ZodiacSpirits.com.
His abilities as a dry cleaner are so undeniable, Dry Clean Only tags have his phone number printed on the back. Stubborn stains sometimes call him late at night just to apologize. His pickup and delivery service is so fast, his vans have fit crews. He is the most interesting dry cleaner in the world.
You don't always dry clean, but when you do, use A&T Dry Cleaners. Stay dirty, my friends.
Welcome back to the studios of the 2 Minute Warning with your host, Benny Blades. Mr. Blades, are you ready?
All right. I got to put on my spectacles so I can really see. This week has been a last 2-3 weeks has been a very tumultuous week, and you know what I mean, just in the world itself. You know, with the passing of George Floyd and all the racial tensions that are going on. And to me, when Roger Goodell, who I had much respect for, came out and said he got it wrong, that Colin Kaepernick was silently protesting what was right when it comes to police injustice. To me, he came out and it wasn't about the cause itself. He made that statement because when you have over 80% of your employee base, meaning the players, being of African American descent, he knew he had to make a statement. Now, all week long, we've been hearing from players, you know, talking about if they were, you know, if I'm George Floyd, you know, you got Orlando Castillo, the list goes on and on. But I tell people, I go back to the first incident that comes to mind to me, and that was Trayvon Martin. When Trayvon Martin was unjustly killed for wearing a hoodie and carrying a bag of Skittles, and the young man that did that brutal killing is still free and selling books for millions of dollars now. How do you feel as a country in the race relations that goes on? And I tell people all the time, you know, bigotry and racism has always been around. Now it's just being caught on camera. And how do we change the culture of what's going on? Because I tell people all the time, there's a camera just about on every light pole, street light, house. It doesn't matter. People pull out cell phones quicker than they do a pen to write a check. And for me, when Roger Goodell, to me, it was laughable. It says, wow, here's a man that kicked the guy in the prime of his life out of professional football, because for him, it was about a flag. It was never, in that young man's intention, it was never about the flag itself. He wanted no parts of it. So he shunned him like a bad cold. I don't need you around, let me just get rid of you. And now with his weak apology, how do we accept that? We say, oh, well, he can do that. He's the commissioner of our league. I cry BS to that, because unless these young men, the Deshaun Watsons, the LeBron James, the Steph Currys, those 1%ers that we all were at one time, until those 1%ers demand justice, stand for systemic racism, the inequalities that go on. Because I look back at the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars that stood up for what was going on back in the 60s. And I tell people, because of guys like myself because now we have a voice. I argue with people all the time because I tell them, if my name wasn't Benny Blades, if I was just that kid from Fort Lauderdale and I continued to be Horatio my whole life and I didn't play youth league football, high school football, played at University of Miami, Detroit Lions, and the Seattle Seahawks, would you allow me to have the platform that I have right now to just speak? No. And so for me, when I talk to the young people, I said, look, you got to be able to stand up for the inequality that's going on, because let's just face it, if LeBron James was flipping burgers, you wouldn't listen to him. You would say, man, whatever, man. We've given you the same equal treatment we've given everybody else. That's not the case. Because he's LeBron James and he's a world-renowned superstar, they're going to listen. And so we have to take our platform to a different level and say, okay, look, how do we start? It has to start somewhere. Me personally, in order for me to change the world, I have to change my views and my opinions of how life is. See, a lot of people change things by physicality. A lot of people change things financially. Me, I just said, look, I'm not going to support the McDonald's of the world, the Wendy's of the world. For what? I don't need the fast food anyway. So I'm not going to give you my money. And what bothers big corporations more than anything else? When you don't spend your money with them. That's how you first start. Once you open up their ears financially, people start saying, whoa, wait a minute, how can we help? It's amazing how society will tell you, once I ain't getting your dollars no more, now, I want to be able to help you. Until then, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen, because I know I was ignorant to the fact when Colin Kaepernick first took the knee. I had to go back and do some research myself to find out, why is this young man gave up his whole career on the beliefs that he could make a difference. Now it's going to take not only guys like myself, it's going to take the ones who are current now to step forward and say, you know what? I am going to make a difference, and how can I be a part of the solution and not a part of, the suppression that's going on? Because once you stay silent about something, you're part of the oppression that's going on. I'm not in agreement with the looting and stuff that goes on, but I understand the anger that some people may have. I understand that because I was young and I was militant at one time myself. But once you find a reason to make a change, make it peacefully. I always tell people I love the works of Gandhi, Martin Luther King, because those guys, they did things peacefully. And that's I'm speaking from Benny Blades. That's my take on what's going on in society today, because we, as an African American race, we have to start making a change. And people always say, well, you're forgetting about the other races. No, I'm not. I won't ever forget about another group of races, that's out there, because until we understand our plight, because as you guys all have seen, I have friends of all different nationalities. And what I can't stand when people always say, oh man, get over that slavery, that was 400 years ago. I don't tell any of my friends to get over the Holocaust, to get over being treated, you know what I mean, like financial prisoners, you know, Fidel Castro. I understand their plight, you know, so we have to come together and say, oppression is oppression, no matter what color it is. We all have to stand together and be on one accord. That is Benny Blades and his soapbox for today. Join me next week when I'll be talking to Donnell Bennett and giving you the 2-minute warning with your host. And like I said, until you can change you cannot change the world. Thank you, and see you next week.
Anton Steinhardt, founder of Wines for Humanity, is proud to team with Black Shiraz partner and former NFL star Benny Blades to assist in his Benny Blades 36 Foundation in helping children with special needs. Go to winesforhumanity.com, look for the 20% off wine specials, make your selection, and use the code BB36F20. Please join the team through winesforhumanity.com or call Dana Lisa Torres at 561-445-7066. Thank you.
You've been listening to the 2-Minute Warning with Benny Blades. We hope you enjoyed this week's show. Tune in again next week for our next episode. You can follow the 2-Minute Warning on Benny Blades' Facebook page and share it with your friends. Mr. Blades, get ready.